Welcome to the New to Wrestling podcast, where I, your host, Xavier Cruz, a lifelong wrestling fan, will take a lifelong friend through the action, the joys, and the drama of the world of professional wrestling. My co-host, Kelsey Silva, has been bitten by the wrestling bug, and I want to invite you to join us as I take her through the moments that made me a fan. So if you're new to wrestling and would like to get brought up to speed, or a fan who would like to relive some classic matches, promos, and segments through fresh eyes, join us as we embark on a journey through the Attitude Era and beyond. Welcome to the New to Wrestling podcast. Hello, and welcome to another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. This week, we watched the WWE In Your House Final Four pay-per-view, and the match card is as follows. In our opener, we had Mark Miro with Sable taking on Leif Cassidy. In our second match, we had a six-man tag featuring Flash Funk, Bart Gunn, and Goldust taking on the Nation of Domination. In our next match was a return match from last week's Raw, where Hunter Hearst Helmsley is taking on Rocky Maivia for the Intercontinental Championship. The Tag Team Championships were also on the line. Owen Hart and the British Bulldog put the titles on the line against Philip LaFawn and Doug Furnas. And in our main event, we had the Final Four, Fatal Four-Way, over the top elimination extravaganza.
The only way it could have been described, though, seriously.
Honestly,
Oh my
featuring
God.
Bret the Hitman Hart, Vader, The Undertaker, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh,
Girl.
yo, this one, we knew it was gonna be wild.
Did not disappoint. My
No,
heart is
not at all.
still
Especially
pounding.
the like later half of the card. Like the first half started off a little slow, a little random. We were a
Mm-hmm.
little confuzzled by what we were being presented with,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but the second half really came through and just elevated the entire pay-per-view. It was
Which makes sense. I feel like they probably focused all their attention on that they were like, oh my God, we have to put other matches together.
right. They were like, "Oh my, wait a minute."
Wait a minute.
So in our little opening segment, we get a little recap of Shawn Michaels relinquishing the title, how
So
we got to
sad.
the Fatal Four-Way from the Royal Rumble, and how it went from a number one contendership match to a just world title match. That was, in your little movie man magic
Mm-hmm.
voiceover. Yeah, well, just a classic WWF
You're classic,
montage.
yeah.
Um, and then the pay-per-view opens with Wildman and Sable making their entrance. And we're going to talk about Sable a lot in this one.
Yeah. I have
Sable
to.
did not come out to play today.
Nope, not a little.
He came out in just an all leather, like black bodysuit, which like these like cutouts like all the way like down the front.
Mm-hmm.
So and these like sleek black sunglasses that
Girl.
she never took off once.
Not once.
She was eating
She
today.
came, yeah, I was gonna say she didn't came come to play. She came to eat, and
Mm.
she ate the whole meal.
Mm.
Appetizer, entree, dessert, aperitif, like everything.
She gave
She
it
ate.
all.
The catsuit was like lined with like a thin little like hint of rhinestone, so it glittered a little bit, but it wasn't ostentatious. And like she just ate it up. The sunglasses were interesting. I do want to discuss this at some point. I mean, we could discuss it at the end of the match because the way she behaved in this match, I feel like is an indicator of like things to come. I don't
Right.
know.
Mm-hmm.
It
I
must be.
agree. I agree.
It must
Because
be.
she was pulling uh, up to this point. Sable's very much been just kind of like a bystander, kind of like
Totally.
just cheering on her man, just like really supportive. But in this one, I don't know if the glasses like gave her a little like oomph, a little
Gave her some
gumption.
powers.
Like
Yeah,
she was in there to help her man today. She said, "I'm gonna get involved. I'm gonna make shit happen." And I was like,
hmm
something about the suit, the sunglasses. She was on another level today.
completely. Like, I don't know. I don't like. we talked about this a little bit on the After Dark episode. And if you haven't watched it, go ahead. Go ahead and
Hmm.
watch our After Dark episode. And we were saying there's like I was like, if there's heels and baby faces in wrestling, I feel like there can be heels and baby faces in the manager, coach, whatever field, which there definitely are, but for like the women. And I'm like,
Hmm.
so as far as I have perceived Sable, she's kind of like a baby face. She's the good girl.
Right.
She dresses sexy, but she's like the stand by her man,
Hmm.
cheerleader kind of type, but she doesn't get her hands dirty
Right.
until recently. And she like, you know, she doesn't have an attitude. She's like very much like, you know,
Right.
but
No,
some things are
100%. So
smell of change is in the air. I
we
feel it.
literally wrote down in this match, I give Sable a whip. The,
Yes, there was a
the,
lot of discussion about the addition of a whip to Sable's ensemble and how it could benefit her
Also, it
drastically.
kind of like goes, it's like on theme because like she's got like the wild man, you know what I mean?
Oh
She could
my,
she could really like lean into that like dominatrix ex lion tamer kind of situation.
okay, fully.
Right. Like tell me that wouldn't just like absolutely like one it fits so perfectly.
It
I would
does.
eat that up. I would love every second of that.
I I wish they thought of these things. Because you know what else I wish they'd thought of is I feel like, and we talked about this last week, how Rocky takes the title out of the blue after Mark Miro held the title, has been working so hard to get the title back or the Intercontinental title and
Right.
working so hard to get it back against Triple H. And Rocky comes out and snatches it in the biggest upset ever, which is amazing. Love to see it. But there's like no mention of it. Like he did like there's no like he's not like what the heck? Like how did this happen? There's no
Right.
like I feel like they didn't touch on it at all. They just immediately were like, well, he's tried and he's failed, so like let's forget about it
Like
and
we're
let's
moving on. Right.
yes, I just am always like, aren't you
Which doesn't
upset?
help his case for like Sable being the most interesting thing about him. You know what I mean? Like that
She's the
even
only
they
thing.
had so like quickly been like, all right, on to the next thing. And you're just like, ow, that's gotta be rough. Like,
Gotta be.
because like, I don't know. I feel like he's getting like traded out for more like interesting prospects. You know what I mean? Like I feel like when we
Totally.
started the show, it was like Mark Miro's time. He was
He was
all
on
over the place.
in every match. He not every match, but he was on every episode. He was
Right.
active in the storyline. Like
Right. And I
I get
just feel like lately it's just kind of been like, your gold dust is a little bit more enticing. Triple H being a complete menace also has its moments. Like The
totally,
Rock being this like happy-go-lucky underdog that just like came through like is generally like a more interesting story. So like I feel like he's just kind of
completely,
like taken a back seat and maybe this is why Sable's kind of like, "Oh no. No, 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 no. Like I've been letting you run this ship and it's been getting us not where we want to be."
and
So,
I yeah, and I wonder if part of it is like one because not Triple H, Mr. Perfect left. So that was like like a huge part of the storyline and then it kind of just like petered out because like the
right.
main one of the main like driving forces of that beef was him and he
Right.
just vamoosed. And then also I think the absence of Sunny is giving Sable more, not that again, we talked about this in the After Dark episode, but that Sable's kind of like taking over. And now
Right.
that Sunny's really not in episodes, I'm like, so is she gonna get a more like involved
Ro
storyline? Like, I'm
I
so
think
curious.
so.
And I'm curious if this is going the way of, which will be our next After Dark episode, the way of Elizabeth and what happened with
Uh,
her and how she had
Elizabeth.
so many flippy flops
Uh,
and things.
I possibly. It's quite possible.
Got me
But
thinking.
let's take this moment to just kind of like we've mentioned After Dark a few times. For those of you that don't know, we have expanded our show a little bit to be twice a week, and we have started a new series called After Dark where we're kind of going to dive into mainly episodes of the dark side of the ring, just kind of spend a little bit more time on like the drama side, the backstage kind of antics, the just sordid lives of the professional wrestlers that we come to know and love, then pull back the curtain a little bit and just gossip about it. So for those
Yeah.
of you who don't know, that's going to be every Saturday. This show airs every Thursday, so now you're going to get a double dose of the New to
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling podcast. And thank you all for who has checked it out already. There's been quite an overwhelming response as far as the first episode went, where we talked about Sunny and Chris Candido, as well as the ongoing sexual assault and sex trafficking lawsuits that Vince McMahon is currently going under.
Mm-hmm.
This upcoming weekend, though, we are going to uh, take a little deep dive into the tumultuous relationship of the Macho Man Randy Savage and the first lady of professional wrestling, Miss Elizabeth. So if that
Crazy.
tickles your fancy, you want to hear us gossip a little bit about it, then you can check that out on Saturday.
Like, you love to goss. Like, that's why you're here. So, like,
No, for yeah,
come goss with us
100%.
more. But yeah, I'm so curious, especially after this match, if like things are, I mean, things are always in the works, obviously, but it just
Right.
feels like
Mm.
things they
Things
just put
are
the burner on. I don't know. Something's
Yeah, yeah,
cooking.
yeah.
Something is
Exactly,
cooking.
exactly. So Sable was such a distraction in this match that Leaf Cassidy could not stop just like yelling at her, like
Cat
trying to get her away from
calling,
the ring. Like
making moves.
yeah, at one point he like goes out to the outside and they're like he's like yelling at her and he like backs her up into like the corner by like the ring steps and she just like rears back and just gives him a wallop right on the
Mm,
face. And we're just like, what is going like why are you so pressed about? Like she has literally done nothing that you're aware of. There was this one moment where
that
uh
you're aware of.
there is this one moment where Mark Miro is in the figure four by Leaf Cassidy and Sable just behind the referees, like just behind the referee's back, just kind of takes the bottom rope and just pushes it into Mark Miro's hand. And that's your first little like, wait a minute, you
Hmm.
don't do that. You
Hmm.
don't do that. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, these sunglasses gave
Gave
her
her
powers.
powers. I get it. I so get it. Because when I have my sunglasses, forget it. It's over. If
Ugh.
I can't see you, you can't see the heinousness I'm getting into.
Amen.
So I'm
So
so.
the, I honestly wish there was more I could say about the match. It was a decent match. It was fine, but honestly, Sable was the star of this, and
Yep.
that is the takeaway that we're gonna highlight is that Sable's little nuances are leading towards something,
Have to
and
be.
we're here for it
They have to
because
be.
it was a very kind of sudden shift in. I think Mark Miro's been taking too many L's, and I think she's like, I have to like course correct this ship or
Because
something
now, he's making her look bad. So she's got
by
to be
proxy.
like, yes, she's got to get in there and like get her hands dirty now because she's like, all right, well, I can't be
I can't be standing
constantly.
by my man over here. Like I'm not.
I'm like, stand by your man, but also I'm gonna give myself a leg up
That's what I'm saying.
to, I don't know, crazy girl. But he does win. I mean, Mark Miro takes a win.
Oh, he
Sable is
absolutely did.
directly
Yeah.
responsible for it.
Oh, 100%. She what distracted Leaf. Uh, How did this matter? I know he did like a
I
shooting star press, but Sable was all over it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, she was all of it. Which also we do have to mention, unfortunately, that Jerry the King decided to make domestic abuse jokes in lieu
Oh
of the
right,
sunglasses, which
right. He couldn't quite couldn't get off it. We were just like, okay. The first one was bad. The first
first
like
one was really bad actually, and we were just like, oh, and I literally had to clarify. I was like, is that real or that was like and Xavier goes, that was a domestic abuse joke. I was like, okay, just wanted
okay,
to
right.
make sure
I just want to confirm that Jerry really is the
the worst.
yeah. Uh
But
a
yeah, he basically said that like JR was like, "Why do you think she's wearing sunglasses?" And I think Jerry was like, "Oh, if you took off those sunglasses, you'd see two bruises, like her eye, like as if
right, two black
Mark Mir
eyes.
was two black eyes, as if Mark Mir was beating her up." So
Yeah, we were like, okay, Jerry.
unnecessary. Hate to see it,
But
but it happened.
yes, amen. Ugh. So after the match, we get a promo from Psycho Sid, who is the number one contender to whoever wins the Fatal Four Way match at the end of the evening. So this was one of it's just his more succinct promos.
Yep.
It was basically just like time's not on your side for any of who, no matter who wins, because this match is going to be taking place the following evening on Raw. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, he's like, I didn't really get my chance, so I wouldn't really sit too pretty with whoever wins because I'm coming for you right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
He's essentially he's saying like he never got his fair shake at getting the title back, so enjoy your little victory. It's coming back home to me, essentially. And then the
Yep.
camera got like real close, just like
Mm.
out, just as close as. And I feel like that was just a thing today. I don't know what it was with the cameraman, but they were like, they said, Sid, Vader, I want to see your pause. And you're like, no, thank you. I didn't
Yeah,
ask
like
for this.
yeah, it was so close and he was so intense because like Xavier said, it was really good. I thought it was great for him and it didn't feel like someone wrote it for him. Like it felt authentically
Right.
him and he just like had a good day. Like I don't know, just good for him.
I,
But like it was so close. I literally like felt myself backing up just like
Oh, absolutely.
instinctually.
I like looked up at because we FaceTime during this, and she's
Yeah.
like
I was literally like,
literally like shrunken back because it's just like the camera angle just came at you so hot and heavy. Like who?
and he's wet. So you just feel
Always.
like you're in the splash zone.
He's
So I
like
was
in
like,
a no. He yeah no. He's very dewy at all times.
I know, and like fine, but yeah, he was very, very close.
Yeah. So more on that to come, especially next week's episode. We'll see who Psycho Sid ends up taking on. And in our next match, which was a little bit confusing for us, mostly because it was not announced beforehand. So we were unsure that this was a six-man tag up until the Nation of Domination was actually introduced.
Yep,
Because the team of Flash Funk, Bart Gunn, and Goldust,
girl.
I could not have put together in a fever dream.
Nope,
It's
nope.
the weirdest combination I've ever seen.
I
And I will also say between Flash Funk's entrance and then the Nation of Domination's entrance, we spent like 10 minutes just getting these people to the ring.
like yeah, like it. I said I was like Flash Funk. Obviously, the Funkettes are absolutely stunning. Nail the choreography, love it. And I just put still too long though.
Still too long.
But
Still too long.
this match felt like they like it gave like WWF fantasy football vibes.
Right.
Or they just threw darts
At like
at like with their
memes.
eyes closed with like pictures of them. And we're like, sure.
And like and like the overarching whatever is like they all have beef with the nation like separately, so it's like the like what is it, the friend of my like and or like the enemy of my enemy is my friend,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. It's
um
something. It's one of those. You
it
know what
is
we mean.
essentially like the reasoning behind them being a team, but it's still just like such a like a hard like juxtaposition in my mind to see like why they could even remotely work together just based
Yeah.
on who they are. It just doesn't quite track.
I yeah. It was so confusing because like Flash Funk came out first and then Bart Gunn came out looking fine as ever, I might add.
Ugh,
And
amen.
I was like, okay, they're wrestling, cool. And but then they high-fived when they got to the ring, and I was like,
Right.
wait. And then Goldust music, and it just and we've talked about this before. The way the WWF will over explain certain matches to the point of lunacy, and
Right.
then other matches say nothing. Like there's we no idea what this is. I was like, so is it like all 3-on-3? Is it a tag team? Is it like
We
just
yeah, we were just confused.
everyone
We
against everyone? They didn't explain it literally until the nation was coming out. And they're like, okay, 3-on-3 or whatever it was. And I was like, Oh,
Yes.
that's cool. That's awesome.
That's
Love to
totally
see.
fine.
Wish you had told me, but
Right,
great.
absolutely. So the nation is represented by Farouk, Crush, and Savio Vega, their newest member.
Hmm.
The match begins when Farouk is just like the nation makes their entrance. They still have to work on their like fist bump. The timing's always a little off. It feels very
Yeah.
middle school dance troupe. Um and
Oh my God.
so they need to get that together.
Yeah,
And the
totally.
so, like for some reason I guess they had turned off the mic of the two stooges from the nation who sing the entrance,
Mm.
and Farouk apparently had something to say, so he's out here like looking for a mic. He's like yelling at the people like down there to like turn on the Stooges mic. And then they hand him a WWF mic, and it's still not on. And then Goldust is just like, "F this," and just starts the match. He just
Wailing on
like
him.
just starts wailing on Farouk, and I was like, "Beautiful." I
Thank
didn't.
God.
I
Do you know that video of from the Pussycat Dolls, Nicole, is it Scherzinger is her name?
mhm.
And like her mic's not working and she's singing a duet with a guy and she walks over and she just goes, "Gimme." And just takes the mic from him.
Yes. I had
It's
that.
what it gave, except if the guy just punched her in the face, which we do not condone, we do not
No.
endorse. But like, just if he was like, "Excuse,"
He's just like, hello. I was like,
like,
what? I was like, everybody, all of the participants of this match are here. Like, what
shut up,
possibly do you need to like get off your chest right now? Like, get it together.
please. Also, please, Savio Vega, he needs a new outfit. It's starting to
It doesn't
really.
fit. It
I know we've
doesn't.
said it for 4 weeks in a row, but like the nation looks so cohesive except for Savio Vega.
No,
Like he
because it's
just
just in
looks
a bright red
ridiculous.
costume. He just sticks out like a sore thumb.
And I am mad at him, but I love him too much to let this go on like this. Like
No,
Savio, like drink the Kool-Aid or don't, but like
do better.
do better.
Commit to the
Do
bit.
better. Thank you.
So Flash Funk was absolutely wild in this match. He
Good.
at one point like just does a splash from the top rope onto the little members of the nation having a little like huddle on the
Little
outside. They were
meeting.
like, this is too much. Like they're beating us up. So they like went outside and Flash Funk was like, nope, and just threw his
Papa.
big ass all over the pile. And then he also performs a Hurricane Rana like from the top rope, which it was just frightening looking because like Flash Funk like put like for how athletic he is, it is like surprising how like not a small athlete he is. Like he's a
He's a
big dude,
big dude. He's huge.
and the way that he just like throws himself around is one, it's super impressive, but it's extra, it looks more like awe-inspiring just based on how large he is.
He's
And then
yeah.
it's just like, I'm gonna throw myself and then bring you along for the ride, and we're both like pushing 250.
Yeah. It's he is so crazy. He 100% was the star of this match for me. Like
Oh,
he was
far and away.
so incredible. Like just outrageous. A plus, tens across the board.
uh, Amazing. And at one point Bart picks up Flash, like overhead presses him, which me next, and then tosses him into the like just all members of the nation, just
So
just
great.
into the it
He
was
was like,
amazing.
use my body. And I was like, again,
Me
me
next.
next.
I was like, sir. um
Throw me next.
uh,
I love Bart. Missed him so much.
uh, this whatever this like Bart X Wrangler thing we got going on, I'm here for it. Like I know we complained a lot about him updating his outfit in the beginning, but he
True.
ditched the bandana, and
And
honestly, I'll take it.
I'll take listen, any little changes of victory to these people that grip the outfit like it's their last thing that keeps them alive. Like it's a horcrux. And I get it.
Honestly,
I get it. It's your identity. It's what
it's your security
defines you.
blanket.
I
Sure.
I get it. So that little bandana, even if he just forgot to put it on and that just happened, A plus. I'll take it. I'll take it.
JR had quite a little funny today when
Oh,
Crush is in the ring and he's just like, look at this jailbird. I mean, like
wrestler.
athlete, yeah. And Jerry chimes in, which is like, oh, like Crush said he was like had never been in prison, but we like went out and he tried to pay for everything with cigarettes, and we were just like, okay, because apparently Crush knows no currency other than bartering
Smokes.
with cigarettes. Like, amazing.
Wow. God bless. It was a good one.
Uh, amazing. So the nation was obviously on their BS, cheating behind the referee's back, distracting the referee so they can like
Mm,
do some nonsense on the outside. Lots of that. Bart performed a top rope bulldog, which almost got him the victory.
mm.
If Crush hadn't dropped his big ass leg over his neck and then just yeets Farouk's one arm over him, and then that's how they get the victory. You're like, "Ugh, that is so lame." I was like,
Really
Farouk was
lame.
like out. Like Bart had his face in the mat. Like he was going down. And then Crush was just like, no, just kidding.
So annoying. And it's
Uh,
again, it gives that like when we talked about like Triple H vibes where it's like this person is going absolute balls to the walls crazy wrestling, doing all these moves, and then you win by cheating. It's
mhm.
just frustrating.
Yes.
But the unlikely trio of Flash Funk, Bart Gunn, and Goldust were amazing. Like they
Oh,
can't say they walked out of there knowing they did some crazy stuff.
oh,
Like
absolutely.
amazing. Unlikely, but delightful.
Uh, Honestly, and on that note, that's how we'll leave it.
That's
Unlikely
yep,
but delightful.
yep.
So in our
That's yeah,
next, yeah, yeah, that's right.
that's it.
So in our next segment, we had a backstage promo from Stone Cold Steve Austin. Basically, he was asked, how does he feel about not having like a clear-cut victory over any of the participants in the match? Which I which was a goading question if
Kind of
we're
a read. Kind of a read.
kind of a read. So basically, he goes on to be like, oh, like clear cut victory. Like, did you not see me like throw everybody out of the Royal Rumble? And we all have to take that with the asterisk of you were already eliminated, so
You
nobody
were
was really
also thrown out of the ring.
right, 100%.
So
So he's like, oh, I've done it once, I'll like do it again. And we're like, I understand to like achieve a certain level of success, there has to be like a little bit of delusion, like a little bit. But just straight up rewriting history is
is
crazy. Is
whoa.
absolutely bonkers.
Whoa.
But we do get this one thing that he says that I want to kind of like hold on to, where he's like,
Yes.
where he's like, the office is against me. Vince McMahon, Gorilla Monsoon, they don't want me to succeed. And I want to hold on to that because that is essentially the entire theme of Stone Cold's character
I love it.
is that he feels like he's being held down by like the authority of those like in charge.
Which I love.
When Vince McMahon becomes an on-screen character as a villain, he's going to get put on screen against Stone Cold Steve Austin in this like classic like I hate my boss. My boss is trying to hold me down, and now you're in a setting where you can beat the crap out of your boss. So
Wow.
it's going to be like, and it is bandied about like they say like Stone Cold Vince McMahon is like one of the WWF's like greatest feuds. So I just want to keep in mind that he has planted the seed is like the office doesn't want me to succeed. Like the people in charge don't want me to be the guy with the belt. Don't want me to be the face of the company. So just hold on to that going forward.
I mean, this is big T though, because we talked about this where like he's been kind of sowing the seeds of discord with like management.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is such an amazing thing to base like a feud off of because it's something every single person can relate to. Like,
Right.
I can't relate to wanting the WWF Championship belt. I have no idea what that's like, but I can relate to feeling like there's systems working against me and
Right.
I feel like everyone, especially even now, like that's so relevant now where it just feels like no matter what I do, I can't get ahead and like
Uh-huh.
it's the system that we're stuck in. Like it just makes you feel something
Right. And it's like,
so
but it's like
intensely.
what like but it's like imagine being in that scenario and you can physically do something about it. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
The
like
physical manifestation of it.
that's the draw for it because you can never do that in your real life. You can never act like
No.
that. Like, but you can see someone act it out for you, and
Oh,
that's very enticing. That's very, very relatable, very good television.
yes, especially too because Stone Cold has already such a following and people really love him, even though he is like
Technically
so
the bad
crazy
guy.
and technically the bad guy. But it's giving more like Robin Hood vibes, where he's
Right.
like it's stealing from the rich to give to the poor, even though he like his methods are
He
unorthodox. Like there's just something so appealing about it, about the anti-hero.
yes, I was gonna say he's like so cool and so relatable that like there's just like you can't help it. Like like logically like I shouldn't be rooting for this person.
Yeah,
But we've all been that person to some degree. So it's
totally.
like it's hard to root against that. You know what I mean? When you see
Absolutely.
yourself in somebody, it's hard to be like, I don't want them to win. Like
You
you
can't.
you
You
can't. You
can't.
can't.
He's the people's wrestler.
Ugh, so good.
So good.
So we're gonna hold on to that. It's gonna be a main theme with Stone Cold, and I'm glad we kind of got that planted in a little bit more of like a firm sense. Like it's kind of been like the vibe, but to like put words to it, you're like, ah,
It's starting to root.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
So in our next match, we have a rematch from Thursday Raw Thursday, where Hunter Hearst Helmsley is challenging the newly crowned Intercontinental Champion Rocky Maivia. They start the match off with just giving us a little replay of what happened, and it was Hunter's hubris that is what cost him the match, and we
Mm-hmm.
know this because
We know this.
because of course that's what cost him the match
Yep.
because by all like logistical like measures like he's more experienced, he has the had the championship advantage, like he should have in theory been able to put away this rookie. He
Mm-hmm.
like underestimated him to such a degree that he just like got super careless and got pinned with just like a basic wrestling maneuver. Like
Yep.
that is wrestling like 101, which
Yep.
is just all like it just adds to how like embarrassing it is for him.
Totally.
So yeah, so this match was great.
Great.
They have great chemistry, which we talked about last week. Once again, this was another one of those like it was back and forth. It was back and forth. There was no clear like this guy's running away with the match. They did a great job of showing Rocky's like resilience as
Mm-hmm.
far as because Hunter's whole game was to try and like piss the Rock off and like make him make a mistake.
Right.
Because if you know, like in the beginning, he he was basically paintbrushing him, just like he had the Rock down and just was like slapping the hell out of the back of his head.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's just like one of those like I can do that to you whenever I like feel like it. What are you gonna do about it? Like kind of moves, and you could tell like it was very much like a tit for tat kind of match. Like Triple H got those paintbrushes in the first second that Rocky could do it, he got his receipt in. Triple
Yep.
H went and like slapped The Rock in the corner, and The Rock, without missing a beat, slaps him back. Like
So
it
great.
was very tit for tat.
Loved
They
it.
they were not going to give an inch on either one, and it it was just very compelling. This feud is nowhere close to being done. We have many more matches between the two. One because their careers really run like parallel,
Mm-hmm.
um, and two. Hold on. Oh, oh, I have a note that says the pick me energy on Jerry is just sad. This man is
Sad.
so far up Hunter's ass. I don't know if he's like even remembers daylight at this point. He's living like the city of Ember. This man knows like this man is just like absolutely lost in
Oh
the
my God.
sparkle of Triple H's eyes. He cannot see past this man. He thinks Triple H is like the love interest in his romance novel. He
Oh my
can't
God.
stop.
Oh my God.
Like, and it's sad because Triple H has not even like, do you remember the one time he tagged with you, Jerry, and he left you high and dry, and you're still out here just like
Jerry,
pick me? And it's just like,
it's
get yourself off the ground. It's embarrassing.
embarrassing. Like, it's so unrequited, babe. Like, he doesn't care about you.
He does not care.
And also, like, him? That's the one you want to
That's what I'm
ride for?
saying. I saw
I
this
just,
I saw this TikTok that is very very applicable to this where I saw it was basically like a situationship is like a situation to one person and absolutely nothing to the other. And that is
oh,
exactly
oh
what
my
this
God.
is. Like
That's a kill
because
shot right
Jerry
there.
thinks
Holy.
they're in a situationship and Hunter hasn't even looked at Jerry.
Oh my
Like
God, where are my tissues? I'm gonna cry about this. Oh my God. That poor, I'm sorry, I feel sorry for him. Don't make me feel
no,
sympathy for Jerry.
absolutely not. That man is hopeless.
Damn. That is so sad. That's so true though. Wow.
Honestly. So
Jerry, get a grip, sweetie.
get it together. We just stop prostrating yourself over him. It's sad.
It's so sad. Mm-mm.
So somebody who was not taking any of Triple H's shit was Earl Hebner. This
Earl,
man, so he catches Triple H like with his footsies on the rope while he's got the Rock in like a headlock, and instead of just like like getting up and like yelling at him, he gets up and just hip bumps his legs off. He said, "Ooh." He said,
he said,
"Not
beautiful
today, sir."
liar, not me.
Mm. Earl's hips
Like,
don't lie.
I swear to God, Earl has never been in a situationship in his life. I know Earl wears the pants in every relationship he's ever been in.
Ugh.
And
He was not having it.
I
And
love
like
Earl.
Earl and Triple H are gonna have some very hilarious interactions. Like they get into it
Mm,
throughout Triple H's career.
I love that.
Like basically, like I swear it's probably like this like running gag between the two of them, like backstage or something. But like they the way that they would just get into like shoving contests, like the two of them, and you're like, what? Who's letting Earl? Whatever.
Earl.
This match was super athletic. Rocky performed like this crazy flying crossbody that looked absolutely incredible. There
So
was
wild.
one little like blip where The Rock was going to perform like a DDT and it looked like Triple H kind of like slipped out of it prematurely and like had to like awkwardly like make himself land to like
It was
look
weird,
like the
yeah.
move was pulled off. But this is like again early days in Rocky's career. This is like in
Yeah, all
the
things
grand
considered.
scheme, yeah. Um, not too shabby. The best part of this match is when Goldust comes down the ring, and we're all like a little confused. We're like, "What's going on?" And then you remember Triple H has been putting his hands all over Marlena. So
Mm-hmm.
Goldust comes down to the ring, and like you think he's gonna like get involved more so? Nope. He just distracts him with the body. He's
The
saying
bod girl.
he's he was like blowing kisses. He was like
Smacking
sensually
on his
rubbing down and stuff.
ass.
He turned around. He said, "Come get it." And I was like, "Look, like somebody
The
come get
bod.
her." Like he's a mess.
Oh
And
my
that
God.
provided just enough of a distraction for Rocky to pick up the victory, much to the chagrin of Triple H, who was big pissed.
Yes. But also, like, you liked it, didn't you, a little bit?
Mhm.
Sorry, you were so distracted, right? Triple H?
That's
I'm
what
just
I'm
wondering.
saying. He said,
It's like a love triangle at this point. Like Jerry's in love with Triple H, but Triple H is low-key in love with Goldust.
he's like
He's
that
he's
one.
actually getting Marlena out of the way so he can make a move.
Ugh, That's it. Yeah, strategic.
I'm
He is a thinking man's wrestler. So
hmm
we do get during this little like interaction, it cuts to someone from the crowd who who grabs Marlena by the hair and puts her in a headlock and just chokes her out. Like,
For what?
for
For
what?
why?
Now let me explain to you
Please.
Chyna.
Who
That
is this?
Chyna is a wrestler who is going to act as Triple H's new bodyguard.
You're kidding.
No. This is
Stop.
Yes. This is Triple H's new like his new muscle is Chyna.
Stop.
She is a like 6 foot whatever woman ripped out of her gourd. Like she is shredded.
She
And
looked shredded.
she is. And she is going to become quite a force as far as the women's division goes. She absolutely tears through that. She's the first woman to ever participate in a men's Royal Rumble. She has actually won the Intercontinental Championship. She is crazy. She's crazy. So we just got another little debut of Chyna, and I
I can't.
cannot wait for you to see that unfurl because this is so great because there is something so just the visual of this pompous, like arrogant, like weaselly guy being backed up by this wall of lady muscle is just
It's I want to curse really bad. It's you know what word I'm thinking of.
oh, I
It's
know
unsee.
yes it is. Yes it is.
Very that. It's very that. I'm so obsessed with that.
So,
Wait, that I was not expecting that. I was like,
yes.
who is this girl? Like, ugh.
Chyna is Hunter's new muscle.
I'm obsessed with that.
So a little if you want a little bit of
I always do.
backstage tea. So at one point, uh Triple H was in a relationship with Chyna. Yes, like real life, they were in a relationship for many years. He When he meets his now wife, ends up cheating on Chyna for over a year. And she finds out when she finds a note from Stephanie that was dated like basically a year prior, talking about all like, just like I love you, like blah blah blah.
You never
Um,
leave a paper trail, Stephanie.
Never leave a paper
Stephanie.
trail. So, but like Stephanie was also like the CEO's daughter. What was gonna happen to her?
What?
Oh, you didn't know this.
What?
Oh
Sir,
yes.
the podcast is called New to Wrestling. You think I know that?
Okay.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
that's some backstage tea we can also like get into. But yeah, so basically Hunter gets involved in a storyline on television with Stephanie, and because they're like together all of the time, they end up in a real relationship. But apparently he had neglected to get out of his prior one. So,
Mm, they
mhm,
always say that.
so
That
that's
is,
a lot there.
yeah.
China has there's lots of drama around China we can get into.
We
But
absolutely will.
we absolutely will, but I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm telling you, when I told you like a month ago, like we are gonna start seeing the key players, they're showing up. It's great. Like all of the players that were already there are kind of like ascending into their like positions, and then we're getting all of these like new supporting characters that are gonna just keep the ball rolling in various entertaining ways. It's just
It's
it's such a good time. Such a good time to
it's
watch.
really starting to feel like Shakespeare, but with like a lot more physical violence,
Amen.
which I'm into.
Oh,
Though also the way Goldust screamed to put her in jail.
oh my God. Yes. It was very
I love
like lock
him.
her up.
It
Like,
was he's clutching Marlena's dead body because this was hysterical too. I love Marlena so much. I will say something controversial. Her worst look to date. Dress was
agreed.
horrible. Anyway, that's probably why China put her in a chokehold. It was like, girl, seriously. But
Like these drags.
so China lets her go and is being escorted out by security, and Marlena stands there for 1 second and she's like, "What happened? Like, are my earrings still there?" And then just collapses. Like,
Uh,
but it was a full like 3 seconds before she was like, "Oh, I should, you know what? Oh,
no, no, fully
swoons."
like onto the painting couch. Like,
Amazing, as
absolutely.
she do. And Goldust is clutching her lifeless body and just looks up and screams, "Put her in jail!"
Uh,
I died. I was like, okay, energy. I love to see it. Carries her out super dramatically.
mm,
Just wow.
amazing.
Snakes in the grass
So,
because the bitch ain't cut. Let me tell you.
so
They're right behind you.
we got moving parts on that one. We're gonna find out more about China. Clearly, Goldust and Triple H. We're gonna move on from there, but that does allow Rocky to move on to other challengers. So
Very
we'll see
exciting.
what's next for the Intercontinental Champion because this is early days for him. So we're gonna see where he goes from here.
Wow.
Next, we get a promo from Vader, which started just basically like in his retinas and just like for some like I'm
We
telling
did an
you.
eye exam on Vader.
I was like, what do you see? Is that he's like
Yes,
EFG
like read the third row from the bottom.
uh,
Thanks.
ridiculous. And it was kind of like a rocky start. He kind of like stumbled over his words. He basically just like went through the list of participants and like gave them their own catchphrase like back at them, and then Paul Bear chimed in with just
Yes.
yeah, it's so hard to like I know, yeah, because he sounds like Mickey Mouse, but like he's speaking like like he's speaking the words of like the devil, but he sounds like a
Like Winnie
Disney
the Pooh.
character. Yeah, it's just like like I can't like it's so awkward. Like,
He's literally it's like the the like antithesis of It's a Small World After All, or like the negative version of It's a Small World, but it's that still high pitched like
mm, oh, I
I
know what you're
hate it
talking about.
so
Yeah,
much.
no, yeah,
I wish he did any voice but that one.
no, that is the one he sticks with. That is
Why?
it.
His vocal cords have to be shredded.
Oh,
Like just
absolutely.
shredded from doing that.
Just roast beef at this point. Like,
Cutlets, just raw,
someone call
messed up.
Arby's. Like, I can't. We have the meats.
We have the meat, dude. We're so
Oh,
dumb. It's actually
so absurd.
so stupid. My
All
God.
right.
Wow.
So, next, the tag team championships were on the line when Owen Hart and the British Bulldog put the titles against Philip LaFawn and Doug Furness. This is the second time we've seen this for the title. Last
Mm-hmm.
time, Owen Hart feigned an injury to pick up the victory.
Mm-hmm.
This time, you see like they really did an like an overacting job of how like chummy the Bulldog and Owen were at the beginning of this
Yeah.
to be like no problems. All
Everyone's fine. And Clarence Mason showed up today as their
decide
coach.
decided to like step in there. Like I don't understand
I don't get it.
the management thing happening here. It's
I
just like
really don't.
it's just like how are you gonna take on all of the Nation of Domination and then also be managing this team, except for when they're facing the nation, in which you're in the nation's corner. And but now that they're not facing anybody in the nation, you're back, and I'm just confused. Like,
It
are you in or out? Like, do you want
swear
this team or not? Like, you went as far as to like uh, take advantage of a like injured Jim Cornette to get this team, and now you've done what exactly with them?
it's It is so bizarre to me. It makes no sense. And it again, it really makes no sense that they don't have anything to say about it. That like no one is saying anything about it. Like Jerry the
Right.
King during this match mentioned briefly, like might have to get Jim Cornette back in here to like manage them
Right.
again. But like for something to me that feels like such a big deal, it's like that he like literally fumbled the greatest tag team champion team like ever. I just like
Mm-hmm.
don't, and
I
everyone's
don't.
just like, well, they're having issues. It's like
Right. No shit.
we don't want to dissect, we don't want to discuss, like nothing. Just so
No.
weird.
I guess not. So this match, within like 3.5 seconds of it starting, me and Kelsey were both like, "Oh, it's amazing,"
It's
because
so
they're
good.
just so athletic. Like just the opening like exchange between Owen Hart and was it Furnace?
I think it
Where
was Philip LaFon actually.
oh well, LaFon were just like incredible, just like
So good. Just so crazy.
so seamless, so smooth.
Yep.
It was amazing. The Owen and the Bulldog generally, do their heel thing, take advantage of the referee being distracted either by their doing or like Philip and Doug complaining about something and them just taking advantage in the background.
Mm-hmm.
They were working like really as a team. They looked good.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that the Bulldog did a little, like happy little flip in like the middle of the match, and Kelsey was concerned for his femurs.
Well, he flips so hard and so fast. Like when he does that little like victory flip, it just seems because he's so big and the velocity is so severe that he's gonna like land on his legs and like the velocity will just like shoot his femurs up like through the tops of his knees. Like it's so aggressive. But then he just like bounces up and he's fine. But it takes me a second to recover every single time. I'm
Oh,
like, is he okay? Okay. It's
right.
just so fast.
I know. 'Cause he's just so like he's just got so much muscle that like it's just probably
He's just
so
a
easy.
spring. Yeah, he's
Right.
just a loaded spring. Just boing, boing, boing. Crazy.
So the as the match progresses, Owen and the Bulldog are getting increasingly frustrated that they cannot put this team away. They can, no
Mm-hmm.
matter what they are doing, it's not working out for them. Owen ends up yelling at the Bulldog after like some exchange, and this is kind of the start of the just kind of the chaos that ensues after. So they're both yelling at each other in the middle of the ring when their opponents decide enough of this and give them like the meeting of the minds, taking
Mm-hmm.
both of their heads and just smashing them together.
So
Uh,
amazing.
we flash forward to another point where Owen accidentally hits the British Bulldog with a spinning heel kick, just adding to more of the chaos and the miscommunications.
Hmm.
The Bulldog gets so upset by that he actually ends up shoving Owen down like into like onto the ground and like looks like he's about to like dip until Owen gets put into a pinning predicament and then he comes back and like saves the match. So it's like he's clearly like big mad at his partner but wants to retain the title
Of
obviously.
course.
So you can kind of see like it's just the frustration is just getting written all over him. And
Yeah.
the teamwork in this match by Philip LaFawn and Doug Furness, seamless, absolutely
Seamless.
seamless.
So
They were
good.
so fast. They would like just absolute like throw on like some crazy suplex, get the other one in, like throw on another move, get the other one, like, and their double teams were like their timing was impeccable. Like it just all worked on their end. They really shined in this match.
And I feel like they weren't afraid to like step up to the Bulldog and Owen Hart this one where like it because I it felt like there was a lot more moments where like so if Owen was in a pinning predicament and with like Philip LaFawn and like Bulldog interfered, like Doug Furness was coming out and being like, "Hey man," and like pushing him back. Like it
Right.
felt more like they were giving what they were getting. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like
And
which I didn't you have we haven't seen really from them before, but I think they're also like, "Come on, like we're not doing this."
right.
They're like
And
frustrated.
yeah, exactly. And I think that's like a small like psychology thing as far as like because they got screwed over already that they
Mm-hmm.
were like we're not doing this game right now. Like I'm not gonna allow this to happen again. Little
Totally.
did they know that Owen was gonna come in while the Bulldog has I don't remember. Was it LaFawn? Was it Furnace?
I think it was Furnace.
has Furnace up like he's gonna do like a power slam, and Owen in front of the referee takes his slammy and just smashes it into the back of his opponent, and that gets them disqualified so that Doug Furnace and Philip LaFawn once again win the match but do not get the titles, and the British Bulldog is pissed.
His dude.
You can literally like from the camera on the ground just hear him go like, why, like why did you do that, like I
Mm,
had him right there, like
fair and
I
square.
do not understand. And you hear Owen go, it doesn't matter, we keep the belts. And the Bulldogs just like, because this has been going on now like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, and it has always come down to Owen getting them disqualified, Owen getting counted out,
And
Owen
yeah, an injury
like there's he gets so frustrated that he takes Owen's slammy and throws it down on the ground, breaking it, which
breaks it.
he which if we know anything about like your emotional like support object, like probably is not sitting well with Owen.
Talking about Horcruxes,
Ain't
like that's one of Owen
honestly.
Hart's, and it just got
Absolutely
smashed,
smashed. He's
smashed.
so upset that he also like takes hold of like Clarence Mason and just starts
Thank
yelling at
God.
him, and I was like, do it,
D
absolutely do it.
Deck him seriously. Because
So
what's he doing? Coming, I got so annoyed by this because, like, you haven't been here. You're out here with the Nation of Domination. You're fumbling the greatest tag team champions we've had. And then you're going to come in here and be the voice of reason. Like, oh, he's going, calm down. Like, you still have the title. He's
right,
trying to give him the title. Shut up. Shut
right,
up. And
shut
Bulldog,
up.
when he grabs him and put him in the corner, I was like, yes, yell
Yeah,
at him. Who is this guy? You don't even know him.
he's a savage. The savage is who he is.
Forget it.
So that is going to boil over shortly.
It has to be.
There is the Bulldog is getting more and more upset every time something like this happens, and eventually he's the restraint is going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thoroughly looking forward to that day, quite honestly, because
Yeah.
I want to see it because I know that match is just going to be absolute fire.
A
So,
long time coming. And also it gives that same energy only to like a the 10th degree of like when we wanted the Smoking Guns to break up. But
right.
it's like really
They
elevated.
really
Like
invested the
it's
time in this one, you know?
this one was a really slow burn. And the
Mhm.
fact that like because with the Smoking Gun Sonny was also involved, so there's no outside piece really involved. Like Clarence Mason is there, but he's not really involved. It's the fact that it's like their family, first of all. Two, they're both so amazing. And three, it's really just down to the two of them, like really having differences. Like there really isn't an outside force
Mhm.
influencing them. And I feel like it makes it like the stakes higher or something. It
Right.
just feels more of like,
More organic. Like it makes
yes,
sense that like you could see this happening. Like this absolutely like you understand where the Bulldog is coming from. Like
totally. And he was walking out and he was like, I literally had him. Like I had the guy, we would have won fair and square. Like we don't need this BS like to
right.
win.
So,
Sad. Nobody wins
yeah.
when the family feuds. Beyonce said that.
Amen. So after that match, we get a promo from the Undertaker, and it is just amazing, just classic Undertaker. Basically, alluding to the fact he's like, I've kind of like lost my edge as of late, and like honestly, like granted the odds have been stacked against him, but
Hmm.
he's the first one to be like, I've been taking some L's recently. That is not me.
And I love that about him.
He's
Humble king.
like he's like I'm getting my edge back, and he's basically like, I'm gonna be the one to win this, and there's nothing you can do about it, so you better just hope that I spare your life. And I was like, okay, okay.
Uh,
I love it. He ran down, he said by hook or crook, he doesn't care how he wins, he just wants the title. And he
mm-hmm.
said, Vader, I have a score to settle with you. And oh, it was perfect. It's just a perfect Undertaker promo. You just feel it in your soul. His like deep voice is just like mesmerizing, and then he just leaves us all like, okay, yeah, you're gonna do that.
Anything you say.
No,
Anything
I
you say.
believe everything. I believe it all. I fully believe he's out here like collecting souls. Like he has a manner
Absolutely.
in which to do so.
He is at home when he goes or when he leaves to go home, he's like rowing across the river Styx on his
Literally.
way back to the underworld. And
What?
everyone's like, "Welcome home."
No, fully. He like high fives Haiti on the way down. Like
Yep.
he gets it.
They're like, "What's up?"
So, amen. So that brings us to our main event, which is the WWF World Championship match. It is essentially like a mini Royal Rumble. So the rules are you can either get eliminated by pinfall, submission, or elimination over the top rope, 2 feet touching the ground, just like the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
This it, where do I even begin with this match? This match was absolutely incredible. So we get the entrances of Vader and Stone Cold, and they are wasting absolutely no time in getting into each other's faces. They start flipping each other off and just talking
Right in
shit
each other's faces, just
from the rip. Just
it's
like they
so good.
and then the Undertaker comes out, does his thing, and then we get a backstage promo from Bret Hart, which is just
Crazy.
it's so succinct, it's so like on point. He's just like, I don't want any excuses. And they ask like, oh, like do you think anything can like stop you? He's like, no, I don't think so, and I'm gonna show you in a couple minutes.
I'm gonna show you right
And
now. Bye.
no, fully. And I was like, I ate it up. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
you absolutely are correct, Bret Hart. You were right.
I love him so much.
And then this match, it from the beginning was just absolute chaos in the best way possible. It was brutal. It was violent. It was fast paced. There were so many points during this that were just like stood out on their own, like
Mm,
as if that one spot had been the spot of the match, I would have been satisfied, and then they just
mm-hmm.
kept going.
Mm.
So just
Oof.
we're just gonna, I guess, call out a couple of like the main highlights of this match because there was so much happening that
So much.
commentators were having a hard time trying to call it all.
I couldn't even watch it all. I was
No,
like, I wish
it
I
was
had
so
more
hard.
eyes. Like it's oh so good.
Yeah. So Vader at one point grabs a steel chair while he's feuding with the Undertaker on the outside, misses twice. The first time he smacks the what am I
Ring
thinking?
post.
The ring post. Thank you. And then the
Mm-hmm.
second time he goes in again, and the Undertaker puts his boot up and just gets that chair right in Vader's face, which
Mm-mm.
cuts Vader open for the rest of the match.
Because it was early on. Like this happened, I feel like within the first few minutes.
Yeah, it was like his eye was just absolutely busted
Busted.
open, gushing blood, looked
Mincemeat.
a mess. And then
A mess.
immediately following that, he throws Vader into the steel steps so hard that the imprint of the steel steps was cut into Vader's shoulder and just starts bleeding. Like it's
You
how hard to get the like diamond like print. How hard do you have to throw somebody into something that the imprint of the wall or whatever that is gets on them?
it
Like that's
was
crazy.
shocking. Like, and they were talking about how everyone is like going through it this match, and absolutely everybody did. But dude, Vader took the worst beating in this match, and I'm dying on that hill. He took
He
a beating from everybody. And again, not that no one else got a beating, but Vader, whoa,
it was,
he got
and
his ish rocked.
they kept cutting to his face, and it's just like it's brutal. It's just covering the whole side. It's like dripping down. It was on every other competitor. Like
Yeah, the mat, it was everywhere.
no. So there's one point on the outside when the Undertaker and Stone Cold are kind of like feuding, and it looks like Stone Cold is trying to perform like a pile driver on the Undertaker. The Undertaker ends up just backdropping Stone Cold onto the concrete floor, just flat on his back, just
Mm-mm.
crunch. Absolutely crazy.
You're gonna try and pile drive the Undertaker?
You're
Get a grip.
nuts. And
Crazy.
but there was one point where after that point Stone Cold ends up by like Vader, and the punches that Vader was throwing, it looks like I am it's what I imagine like getting hit by like a Christmas ham would
I
feel
was just
like.
gonna say ham, the ham hocks.
Like he's just, it's so heavy handed. Like you
Mm-mm.
really feel like Hulk smash, like if that were existing in an actual human person, it is Vader.
Yeah,
That the
absolutely.
way he doesn't like just like straight punch, he like hammers down like with all of his weight, and he's just so just like thick that like you hear the like thud, and like I watching it, you like I'm like, that hurts. Like that punch looks like it hurts.
Hurts. It does. And I know we've talked about this, like how he just like Vader, it also it's just no effort, it feels like. Like there's
No,
it's just like as if he's warming up, but it's like
but
it's
it's
just
just so heavy handed. He's just
oh
so heavy handed that it's just, it looks horrible.
horrible.
There is a poor timekeeper that gets crushed by Vader as he gets tossed into against like the railing, and there was just a poor man. His
This
his
man.
sole job is to ring the bell. That's what he came in to do. He said, "Ding ding, ding ding." That was it. That's all he wanted to do at work today, and he had this brick wall of a man just absolutely thrown at him at full force by another grown man. He
What a
said, he
sin.
said, ding, oh, like no dings today. Man
The
was done.
way the way this man was clutching the security railing thing for life, for
Life,
dear life, like this, eyes tight
life,
shut,
like
headphones fell off into the crowd. The crowd is trying to hand him the headphones. This man will not let go of this
no.
gate as if he is Rose on the door after the Titanic sank.
Uh,
Like, I felt so bad for this man because, again, it's not like it was like Bret Hart that fell into
Vader, Vader.
Vader. And Bret
Yeah,
Hart's not small either, but
no, but there's something about just like that mammoth of a man, just like absolute, like no.
uh-uh.
It did it have to be Vader? Couldn't have
And
been Stone
it
Cold
didn't have to
that
happen at
done
all.
that spot.
The
Ooh,
bell man. And then Vader picks up the bell and smashes it. So we're like, all right, so we have no idea like
what's going on? No.
what's gonna happen now.
At one point, the Undertaker and Vader are just choking each other with phone cords or like camera cords, just
Yep.
like an absolute like trying to hang one another with the telephone cords. I was like, this is crazy because Vader looked like his eyes were gonna pop out of his head at one point. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
get it
Undertaker was
together.
like hook, crook, or camera cable.
Does
I will
don't
win.
don't care. But it is during while that little exchange that in the ring Austin gets eliminated by
Girl,
Bret Hart by getting tossed over the top rope, and it was you were like, "Ah!" You were losing it, and you were like, oh my
I
god.
freaked out. This whole match I was like literally like this, like peeling my face off. I was like so blown away, but I was not expecting Stone Cold to get eliminated first.
Yeah,
Stone Cold getting eliminated first by Bret Hart is crazy.
right.
While Vader's face is gushing, pouring blood, he's been pounded, beat with the steps, the bell got like ran through. And Stone Cold is the first one to get eliminated. Stone Cold, the official on paper winner of the Royal Rumble
Mm-hmm.
against over Bret Hart, and then Bret Hart eliminating him first. That is crazy. I thought it was going to come down to the two of them and like really be like a redo. The way it went was better. I'm
I
happy with
agree
it. I am shocked by this though. I was
because
shocked.
it just adds all the more reason to like continue this feud. It just adds a
Oh,
little bit more, like just one more reason for Stone Cold to be like, mother, oh, like
totally. And I love that Bret Hart is all business. He throws him out and he just moves on. He doesn't
moves
even
on.
care.
He
He
does.
doesn't care. He's like,
He's like,
I am focused. It was so amazing.
uh,
I
absolutely amazing.
oh my
So
God.
during the continuation of the match, the Undertaker gets knocked outside, and Paul Bear hits him with the urn,
Snake.
just incapacitating him for the time being. So it looks, Bret Hart performs a superplex on Vader, which is bonkers.
We were like,
absolutely
no, no,
bonkers.
no, 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 no. Like,
No, because we were like, no, he's not. No, he's not.
no
No, he's
way.
not. And then
No
I saw
way.
Vader's foot go onto the top rope, and I was like, oh my god, he's gonna send it. He's absolutely gonna send it. And he just lobs this giant man over and splats him. I literally
Vader.
just I just go dot 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 crazy. I was like
Literally,
superplex on Vader.
I
Crazy.
I just it that is wild. And again, I say Vader, like he took a beating
Oh, he gonna
this
feel this
match.
one
I give him
tomorrow.
so much credit. Like I really do. He is so crazy. He said, yeah, superplex me off the top, whatever.
Got it. And then
Sure.
and so Austin comes back into the ring to attack Bret Hart because
Of course.
obviously
Duh.
he like just can't stop himself. And basically it's like every other competitor is just like smacking Austin like off of the ring apron, like back down onto the ground, while like a cohort of referees and like backstage personnel just like once again try and keep this man down. But while all of that chaos is happening, the Undertaker eliminates Vader when Vader is trying to like climb the like top rope, and he just yeets him out. Oh, it was beautiful. It was absolutely
It
amazing.
was so good. It was
And
so good.
because then
This was the best possible outcome for me. I'm not even gonna front. Like
mhm,
I told Xavier, I was like, as soon as Vader was eliminated, I was like, I don't even care who wins anymore because both of these people I want to see hold the titles so bad. I love
mhm,
them both so much. I was like, I don't even care. I'm just here to enjoy myself now. I mean, all stress left my body. Like, was I still
ah,
excited? Absolutely. But I was like, all right, I don't even care who wins now because I love these two wrestlers so much and both of them deserve this title. Now I just want to
mhm,
see how who gets it and how this is amazing.
right. So we once again like cut to Stone Cold Steve Austin like making his way back up to the ring apron, and it's basically just like a volleyball match of like
Who
Stone
can
Cold
punch
comes up,
him?
one of them punches him down. Like Stone Cold comes up again, the other one punches him down. But
Mm-hmm.
while that's happening, after the Undertaker goes and hits Stone Cold off of the ring apron, Bret Hart comes up behind and clotheslines him over the top rope, eliminating the Undertaker. And Bret the Hitman Hart is our new world heavyweight champion.
The way I can still feel the elation in my body. But it couldn't have gone any other way. It couldn't have
Right.
gone any way. If they made Brett take the L again, stop.
Well, especially at like with the situation that we're in, like having like Sean relinquish the title, it's just like
Yeah,
this is like this is the best outcome that we could have had, I think.
absolutely. We
I
need a
think
hero.
yeah, and I think Brett is had enough of like a backstory of not getting the title to kind of like really um kind of like swoop in here. Like he had like like lost to Psycho Sid. He got shafted out of the Royal Rumble. Like you think he's gonna do it, and then like finally like now the scenario has finally like allowed itself for him to kind of like step back into his role. So this is the fourth time that Bret Hart is the WWF champion, and his celebrations were cut a little short because Psycho Sid makes his way down to the ring to confront Bret to just kind of remind him, hey, tomorrow.
See you there.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll see. I thought they were going to get into it right then and there, but they didn't. But the threat is sometimes better than the violence.
I no, I agree. I agree.
Oh my God, I'm so happy right now.
Ah,
I don't even care like about anything else. I'm so happy right now. And this is
oh,
exactly what they want, obviously. But
ah,
this is the best possible
amazing.
outcome. I think that it would have been amazing again to see Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels fight, like without a doubt.
Right.
But this is also sensational.
Oh, it's great. And
And
we
I want to
know,
see Bret Hart and Psycho Sid fight again.
yes, that's gonna be fantastic. And also, like, Stone Cold's not done. Clearly not.
Girl.
He got eliminated and wasn't even done in the match. So
D and I feel like because now the Undertaker is really pissed at Stone Cold too. Like
Right.
it adds extra fuel to that fire. And like
Hmm.
again, we've said it many times. Like I don't want to be on the receiving end of the Undertaker's ire
No,
ever.
ever.
Seems like the worst possible idea. So like Stone Cold is making like more and more formidable enemies. Not that he wasn't already, but this seems like extra zesty.
I
And
agree.
I'm so excited. And the Undertaker, oh,
I
I love
can't.
him so much. And he was big pissed, girl. He was big pissed. This was amazing.
Yeah, because
Lived up to the
he
hype.
he even like he doesn't even like just like leave the arena right away. He like turns and like looks at Bret like celebrating. He's like, ooh.
But he's not petty about it. He doesn't
No,
go
no,
like,
no,
what
no.
the heck? He's like, damn,
No, no. He literally just looks back like,
I love
mm,
him.
so good. So that was the In Your House Final Four pay-per-view. Tune in this upcoming weekend for our next episode of After Dark. We are going to be taking on the sordid relationships of the Macho Man, Randy Savage, and the First Lady of Professional Wrestling, Miss Elizabeth.
I cannot wait to talk about this,
Oh,
you
it's gonna
guys.
it's gonna be great, guys. So until next time, thank you as always for finding us wherever you find us, whether you're watching us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, we're all over the place. We appreciate it. Please continue to like, comment. We love when you comment.
Love,
We
love.
had a comment on our After Dark episode that
We will discuss
we
then.
will
Yeah.
discuss on Saturday, and we'll catch you next week.
We'll see you there.
Bye.
Bye.